Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
It's just waiting for 2 more minutes. And if no one else is joining, we start. Meanwhile, if possible for all of you, can we switch on your cameras? Because otherwise, it would be like I'm talking to a computer rather than a few humans. Also, अब GDPI के लिए जाना है तो you will be facing face-to-face interviews um, with your panel. So it's better कि फेस करते हैं, कैमरा स्विच ऑन करते हैं और प्रैक्टिस करते हैं.
1 second, sir.
Yep. अगर घर पे भी बैठे हो यार मतलब अच्छे से नहीं ड्रेस्ड अप हो तो भी ठीक है मतलब इट्स फाइन. इट वुड बी बेटर इफ वी कुड सी आवर फेसेस बिकॉज ऑल ऑफ अस आर गोइंग टू बी टुगेदर इन दिस जर्नी ऑफ नेक्स्ट 2 और 3 मंथ्स. तो थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस तो लाना पड़ेगा. हाँ, हाय प्रांशु.
Hey, sir, good evening.
बाय द वे, डू वी हैव एनी मेंटोर्स इन दिस ग्रुप और जस्ट स्टूडेंट्स? एक बार चैट में बता देना ना सो दैट आई वुड नो. एंड इफ वी हैव एनी मेंटोर्स लाइक दे कैन आल्सो पिच इन बिटवीन. ठीक है, स्टार्ट करते हैं. गैस थोड़ा इंटरेक्टिव रखने का ट्राई करेंगे. आई जस्ट डोंट वांट टू बी अ टीचर और लेक्चरर कि मैंने 1-to-1 किया और मैं बोलता चला गया. बिकॉज यहाँ मेरे कुछ सिखाने से ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आप लोग सीख रहे हो. आप लोगों को अपना पीआई और जीडी का पैनल फेस करना है, वहाँ इंटरव्यू देने हैं. तो अभी जितना कॉन्फिडेंटली अपनी चीज़ें रख पाओगे उतना ही आपको फायदा होने वाला है. राइट. ठीक है, लेट्स स्टार्ट. नॉट श्योर इफ एनीवन एल्स इज ज्वाइनिंग. सो स्टार्ट करते हैं. दिस इज गेटिंग रिकॉर्डेड. Yes, it is getting recorded. Okay. So, hello everyone. Good evening. First of all, thank you for joining the GDPI WAT classes of iQuanta. CAT आप लोगों का हो गया है. All of you must be expecting good percentile and that's why you are here. After a few days from today, you will start getting calls from the colleges you are expecting. And this is the very right step you have taken. Like as early as you start your preparation of GDP and WAT, it's better. मतलब बाद में लेट करके भी कोई फायदा नहीं है कि जिस दिन कॉल आ जाएगी उस दिन हम तैयारी चालू करेंगे. यू आर जस्ट लूजिंग योर टाइम. बिकॉज लाइक इट्स अ नोन फैक्ट दैट फॉर एवरी वन सीट देर आर 5 to 6 persons हु आर competing फॉर द सेम सीट. आप तैयारी नहीं करोगे तो कोई और बाजी मार के ले जाएगा. ठीक है. और जस्ट कीप इट इंटरेक्टिव. कहीं भी कोई भी क्वेश्चन है, कोई पॉइंटर है, जस्ट पुट इट इन द चैट और रेज योर हैंड. वही हम उसको रिजॉल्व करते हुए चलेंगे. एंड आई ट्राई टू स्ट्रक्चर द एंटायर orientation in 2 parts. Number one, which is more important for you guys, like how should we structure the entire GDPA and WET preparation. कि exactly क्या करना है, कैसे करना है, कब किस चीज के ऊपर फोकस करना है. एंड सेकेंड पार्ट वुड बी कि हाउ एग्जैक्टली आई क्वांटा will come in between or what's the offering iQuanta is providing in this entire process. I think this is a good way to proceed, or does someone want it to be in some other format? ठीक है, मुझे ज्यादा चैट्स दिख नहीं रहे. एंड इज देयर एनीवन हु डजंट अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी? ठीक है, नॉट श्योर व्हाई बट आई एम नॉट गेटिंग एनी मैसेजेस इन चैट. हाँ, ओके कार्तिक, थैंक यू फॉर योर एक्नॉलेजमेंट. ओके, परफेक्ट. ठीक है.
So we can start.
ओके, थैंक यू. नॉट श्योर कि कौन था आपके में, जाओ भी लिखा हुआ है.
क्या है?
Okay. ठीक है तो इन आवर फर्स्ट स्ट्रक्चर वील डिस्कस की व्हाट इज जीडीपीआई एंड वैट because a few of you might not be और अच्छा उससे पहले let's do a round of introduction. My name is Deepak Agrawal. I am going to be your let's say the mentor or POC from iQuanta who's going to manage each and everything related to your GDP and VAT. I myself did my MBA from IIM Bangalore 2018 to 20 batch. Then worked across different companies, consulting, startups, multiple startups, and now trying to do something different in career counseling. And that's the reason I'm trying to mentor all of you so that each one of you stand the best possible chance to convert your dream B schools. और इसके ऊपर कभी भी किसी को डिटेल में डिस्कस करना हो तो आई एम ओपन टू डिस्कस ऑन माई व्हाट्सएप फेसबुक और इंस्टाग्राम जैसे भी आप लोगों को करना हो ओके अभी स्टार्ट करते हैं तो थोड़ा सा एक राउंड ऑफ इंट्रोडक्शन की जीडीपीआई एंड वैट क्या है और कैसे इसको शेड्यूल करना है या प्रंशु
Sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to communicate that Sangesh Kumar has written in the chat that he does not know Hindi. Might it be
ओके
better that we speak in English only?
या
At
फॉर
least I'm
श्योर
fine with that.
दैट्स व्हाट आई वाज आस्किंग इन द बिगिनिंग ओके नो इश्यू सर थैंक यू प्रांशु फॉर हाइलाइटिंग आई डिड नॉट चेक द messages. Okay, so let's start and we'll begin with like what is GDPI and VAT and why is it important, right? So your PI is kind of your one-on-one interview which all of you must have given sometime in your colleges or while hunting for a job. The only difference would be that when you were giving your interviews for a job, whether in college or outside, you were aware that you are going to be asked a few technical questions around your job you are looking for. If you are a coder, that you must be 80% sure that the questions are going to be from your technical or the coding background, right? But in this case, the questions can be anything. It from A to Z, it can be anything. They can deep dive into your personal details. Who are you? Why are you? Why do you want to MBA? It can be anything. They can through any random question around current affairs, politics, economics, business, startup, anything. That's the reason the PI, which is conducted for an IIM or normal top B school interview, is very different. Now coming to the GD part. So GD is basically a group discussion wherein there are 6 to 8 participants and 2 to 3 panelists. They'll give you a topic, and on that topic there needs to be a discussion between the group. The interviewer or the panelist will give you around 5 to 10 minutes to think on the topic, jot down your points on a paper. Then they'll leave the 6 or 8 participants on themselves. They'll start their group discussion. They'll have a starting, they'll discuss, then there is going to be an ending, and then the panelists will close the session. In this entire group discussion, they'll be checking for a few points like what kind of leadership qualities you are displaying, how your communication, uh, what is kind of your knowledge you possess, do you have a helping nature with your colleagues, and so on. Third part is VAT, which is your written ability test. In VAT, you will be provided with a pen and paper and a topic, and you will be given some time around 15 to 30 minutes to think and jot down your points around that topic. And the kind of pointers that they are looking to check is how you structure your thoughts, how's your communication and writing style. It's not about your handwriting, but overall writing style. Because in this time of AI, anyone can give a good essay or application. But when you are provided with a topic on the day of your interview, then it becomes a game changer. Okay. And fourth one is your extempore. So extempore is basically something wherein you will be provided with a topic and you have to start speaking on it. You will be given some time of around 2 to 3 minutes to think what you are going to speak and how will you structure your thoughts. But you have to speak on the topic non-stop for 5 to 10 minutes. And but extempore is usually constrained around a few colleges, mainly FMS and a few others. Nowadays, it's mostly PI and WAT. GD is also limited to only a few colleges right now. Do we have any questions till now, or can we move forward? Karthik, you are clear. Anyone else? Any questions, or can we move forward? Perfect. Okay. Which colleges still have GD? So, Arunaba, I share a list in the WhatsApp and Facebook group. Basically, a bifurcation: which college is conducting GD, which college is conducting WAT. Colleges like Ahmedabad, they are conducting a slightly different version of WAT, which is AWT. I have all of this compiled in a sheet. I'll share the sheet on WhatsApp as well as Facebook. Okay. Good. So just a visibility on the numbers. Like most of us have um, given ample amount of time for CAT preparation. Maybe we have been preparing for last 6 or 8 or maybe 12 months. But the weightage the CAT exam has in the entire construct is only 30 to 40%. The majority of the weightage is of GDPI and WAT, and which we and most of the students don't value. They think like it's just an interview and we would be able to crack it. But like as we can see over here, the overall weightage of GDP and VAT ranges from 30 to 70%, depending upon college to college. So it becomes extremely important to give at least 1.5 or 2 months to something which is of this importance, right? And that's the reason I was saying that it's a good step that you guys have taken by enrolling into a proper GDPI or VAT class. Okay, let's move forward. So here are a few components of your GDPI and VAT. So in your PI, the kind of skills which the interviewer is looking for is your personality, your work ethics, and knowledge about uh, general awareness about current affairs or business and your academics. You might have a few questions like some very standard questions like tell me about yourself, why MBA, why this college, and I'll provide you guys with the entire set of questions which might be asked, but you need to prepare the answers because you guys know yourself better, much better than anyone else. Regarding GD, they are mainly trying to test your communication, your teamwork, and your leadership styles. Some of the hot topics are like impact of AI on employment. It's a always hot debated topic. Number two can be the cryptocurrencies. And the topics which we'll provide you guys would be common. They can be asked in your PI, in your GD, or in your WAT. So just try to brush up your knowledge around those topics. If your knowledge is good and communication style is good, the topic can be arranged or rearranged in any of these components. In your WAT, they'll try to understand your analytical writing style. For example, how are you writing your WAT, or how are you beginning your essay, how are you ending it, and how are you trying to stitch each and every paragraph that is written over there. One of the examples is globalization. Is it a boon or a bane? Not sure how many of you actually understand the meaning of this word globalization. While when I was preparing for my GDPA, I was not aware of it. I actually had to brush up a lot of things. I spent 2 to 3 months reading and understanding all these words because I knew like this is the high time I cannot lose the chance which I've got by receiving the call. Number fourth is extempore. In extempore, they are trying to basically test two things only, which is how quickly you can think around a topic because you will be given 2 or 3 minutes only and then you have to start speaking on it. And next is fluency. So while speaking, you might be wrong at a few places like structure or grammar, but you need to be confident and fluent. And that's what is more important, right? For example, one of the examples is here, like technology in daily life. There are a few comments in the chat box. No, Karthik, I have not shared the list yet. I'll share it by tomorrow on WhatsApp and Facebook. But I have the list with me of GDPI, VAT components, their weightage, etc. Rohan, sir, can we speak Hindi a little bit or only English in interview? So, Rohan, that would depend upon the comfort level between you and the interviewer. So, there is no set answer for this. It's just the kind of comfort and confidence you need to build and kind of a rapport building with the interviewer. That's it. It can be in English, it can be in Hindi. They just need to check how comfortable you are with your knowledge, and that's it. In wet instead of a passage, can we write in terms of bullet points? So, Deepak, we have dedicated sessions on wet, but try to keep a mix of everything. So, for example, you cannot start your wet directly with bullet points. There should be an introduction with a good paragraph, but you can start your
Hmm.
paragraph or wet with a quote or maybe a good line, or it can be anything. Then while you're explaining something, there can be a few bullet points, but each and everything cannot be a bullet point. Amrinder, does VAT happen in pen and paper or online based, computer based? So during my time, it was completely pen and paper. And according to me, it should be pen and paper, but let me check it again. If all the colleges are doing pen and paper, or there are a few colleges who are taking online computer based. Let me check it for you guys. 80 or 90% colleges should be doing it pen and paper. And the reason of doing pen and paper is very simple, that when you are typing anything on your computer, you can undo your mistake. If you have written something which should not have been there, you can just type the or click on the backspace or delete button, and you can start rewriting it again. But that's not the case on pen and paper. So you need to be very vigilant while you are trying to write anything. That's the reason most of the colleges prefer pen and paper, but let me check it again. Okay. Now try to deep dive into all these components one by one. We'll start with PI, which is yes, Zomi. I don't know your name, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello.
Sir,
Yep.
are we allowed to talk about our school life little bit, school achievements? Are we allowed?
So there is nothing like you are allowed or not allowed. It completely depends upon you. Like, what do you want to
Sir, actually,
present
I don't have a, sir, actually, I don't have a that
work
much
ex?
great, yeah, I don't have work experience and all. I just graduated and um, get into this. I
Got
don't
it.
have any kind of anything. Any achievements or any job experience, anything. I don't have that much of it.
If you think that you don't have anything to talk about from your college life or your work experience, you can definitely talk about your school. There is nothing wrong in it. It's just try to portray what is best in your life. For someone, it can be in their school. For someone, it can be in their college. For someone, it can be in their work experience. Or for someone, it can be even outside. For example, related to an NGO, or if they tried their own venture, or maybe something else. So
Sports
there is.
related sports, can we talk about it?
Sorry.
Related sports or curricular
Oh, yeah, yeah.
activities
Yes.
in
Yeah,
that,
yeah. For sure. Yes.
as I was the school captain. So can I talk about it?
Yeah, yeah. Yep. It's a good point that displays your leadership quality. For sure, you can talk about it.
Sir, actually, I earlier I prepared for NEET exam also. Sir, so
Mhm.
I took some gap in between. So should I talk about it
So
if
it
they ask
depends.
about me?
So what we can do is, if you can share me what you are going to speak when someone is going to ask you, tell me about yourself. Just give me a
Hmm.
written answer. I'll review it and share you what could have been the best or a better answer for it.
So because as I was talking about this to my friends or to my father and all, they were telling not to show that I took that year gap. But I was very
Right.
proud of it because I took it because I was preparing for it. So I don't have any kind of regret that I took that year gap.
So, what is your name, by the way?
Shivani.
Shivani. So, Shivani, there is no again right or wrong answer on it. It depends. So, for example, whatever you are going to speak during your interview, each and every word would be taken very carefully by the interviewers. And the cross questions they are going to ask will be dependent upon the words which you are going to speak. So you can expect a lot of cross questions on it. And if you are ready that you can answer all of those, then it's fine. But if you feel you are not ready with all of those questions, then don't go for it. Because believe me that whatever you are going to speak in your first and second answer, your entire interview is going to be around those words.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So if required, you can have a detailed one-on-one discussion with your mentors during your interview or maybe with me. But
Okay.
since it's a
Actually,
multiple,
this thing is
yeah,
very bit confusing for me.
don't worry, Shivani. We'll have an answer for it. Let's schedule
Okay.
a call tomorrow or day after tomorrow. We'll talk on it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. So your entire interview is going to be scheduled around four things. Number one and most important is your personal or HR questions, which is basically the interviewer is trying to understand you. Why are you? Who are you? Why are you? Why are you trying to do your MBA? Why this college? Uh, each and everything about you. They just want to understand who are you, right? When I'm talking about who are you, it can be your strengths, it can be your weaknesses, it can be your leadership style, it can be anything. So just sit down, relax, and try to understand each and everything about you, right? Each and every incident or event that has ever been happened in your life, good or bad, just try to think about it, write it down,
Mhm.
each and every possible question that might come in an interview. For example, I give my example. In my entire life, I changed a few cities. For example, in my childhood, I was living in one city. When I grew up, I moved to another city. For my college or my BTech, I was in a third city. For my job, I changed two cities. So somewhere I knew that I can expect a few questions around these cities, like who's the mayor, who's the CM, what's the kind of population in these states. It can be anything because somehow these cities or states were related to me. These were not coming at random. So I mugged up each and every data, minister, city, why the name of the city, each and everything. For example, I am from Faridabad. So even I try to learn the fact that why the city was named Faridabad. Then I moved to a city called Chandigarh. Then why Chandigarh is called Chandigarh, or what is so specific about Chandigarh, Haryana, and Punjab. So I'm just trying to give you a background how the questions can be structured in your interview. So try to deep dive into yourself, each and everything that has ever happened to you. If you do this, you can crack 30 to 40% of the questions during your PI. Okay. Now the second most important topic would be around your work ex or academics. Those who have work ex maybe of a few months, it's going to be really important for you. Once the interviewer is satisfied that okay, that you have told about yourself, why MBA, why you, who are you, etc. The next questions which are going to be thrown at you would be around your work ex. Like what did you do? What does your company do? Um, was there a team who was reporting to you? Or what's the biggest contribution you have made in your work or your job? It can be anything. So just prepare each and everything which is related to your company or your work ex. The interviewer sitting in front of you might not be aware of the technical aspects, but he might be aware of the industry. For example, let's say anyone, if you're working in an industry like IT industry or an automobile industry, or might be a coder, the interviewer might not be aware of the exact coding styles, but they must be aware of the industry, like what is going in the IT industry as of now. Are there any mergers or acquisitions happening? Is the industry growing or not? So try to understand and work on all those aspects. For those who don't have a work ex or are still in their college, academics is going to be really important for you. Even for those who have a work ex, academics is important for you guys as well. For example, during my IIM Indore interview, even though I had a work ex of 3 years, I was asked a few questions on academics from my mechanical engineering. So you can expect a few questions around it. So just don't leave your entire academics as it is. Just try to brush up your basics of all important subjects, I would say. The last and the most important part is your current affairs or your business knowledge. In current affairs, there are two parts. One is your static knowledge or the GK part, which is usually don't ask. And the next part is your current affairs or the dynamic GK, which is going on in the real life scenario. For example, there is a lot of debate going on in the cryptocurrency world or the quick commerce. In today's newspaper, there was something around one nation, one vote. So try to brush up your skills on the current affairs, what is exactly going on in India, in the world, in business, in economy, everything. From our end, we'll try to cover each and everything what is going on in the current affairs, but we can do a little. The most of the work has to be done from your end. So start reading newspapers, start reading articles from newspapers or from various online sources. Then try to form your own views. Reading is just one part of it. Forming your own views on it is a separate part. When you try to form your own views, these pointers are going to help you in your GD, in your VAT, and in your PI. Because it's not an MCQ that someone will ask you like, when did this event happen? 1972, 1974. No, it's not going to be like it. You will be asked about your opinion on a particular topic. For example, I just gave a point on cryptocurrency. So you might be asked, what is your view on cryptocurrency? Is it going to be successful in India or not, in world or not? Is there any danger from cryptocurrencies, or can there be a few good businesses which can be built on cryptocurrencies? It can be anything. The interviewer just want to understand your thoughts. Any questions till now? I'm going through the chat. Oh, lot of questions.
Sir, hello.
Anirudh, right?
Yeah, Anirudh this side, sir. How does one justify a gap? I resigned from my job in September uh,
Mhm.
to prepare for CAT only, right? To give at
Okay,
least
okay.
2 full months to preparation. And is it is it just okay being honest? Like just tell them what could be my approach to that?
Anirudh, if you'll ask me, one should not be honest in interview, and I'll give my examples.
Ah,
Uh, if not on this call, maybe sometime after, but one
sure,
should not be. One should speak only those pointers they are confident about,
sure.
right? I'll give you one example, okay? And I think it will help a lot of you. So, like all of you, I did not have any specific hobby. Like I was just a general guy. I was going to my college, I was doing my job. Then during my weekends, I was going to movies, going to play cricket, and that's it. No general hobby as such. But somehow in the back of my mind, I was aware that during my interview, there can be a few questions on the hobby. So I prepared something around my hobby, which was actually not my hobby. and I picked up a game called volleyball.
Hmm.
Okay, why volleyball? Because
Yeah.
I played volleyball sometime back, around 4 years back. So I had a basic knowledge about volleyball. And when I started preparing about this particular hobby, I did not leave even a single point on it. Like I prepared around what's the size of the ball, what's the weight of the ball, how many holes are there on the ball, how many nets are there on the net,
Hmm.
what's the dimension of the ground, who is the best
Position.
player in
Yes.
India, who is the best player globally.
Were you actually asked about it in any of the interviews?
And yes, they did. And one of the reasons why I was able to convert the best bet I had, because I did all this homework in the back of my mind. I had all these things that they can ask around my hobby, around the cities. So I prepared each and everything, and I was literally feeling very happy when they were asking questions around volleyball
Which.
Okay.
because I prepared for it,
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
right? So that's the point I was saying. Do not be honest.
yeah. Sure. And I had to think
just
of something to justify my gap.
just try to speak you are confident about,
Okay, sure,
and the confidence will come with the practice.
sure,
So
sure.
if I can do it with a hobby that was actually not my hobby, you can do a lot of things around all the topics. Just be confident and try to prepare each and everything around those topics. It can be your hobby or it can be anything else.
Sure, sure.
Today I told you something which I have never told anyone.
Yes, you should.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I think
Okay.
Pranshu and Abhishek have questions.
Yep. Yep. Sorry, Pranshu, Abhishek. Yep.
So
If
not a very
Yeah,
Abhishek, you
Pranshu.
can go. Okay. So it's not a very well-formed question, but I do fear that if I am not very honest about my own my background, I will end up being more, I'll be end up being more scared. I will not be able to speak about it properly. But also, generally, I would like to ask, what about, say, cases, say, especially maybe, for example, in current affairs or GK, maybe, but also in cases of background interviews. What if on a particular topic, the opinions that we have or that we have but are not well formed are somewhat controversial or against the popular opinion of, say, what I read in the Hindu newspaper? How shall we
Okay.
handle such situations? Maybe you can give some advice on that.
Part of it. One is something which is factual, which is your current affairs or GK. You cannot bluff about GK or current affairs. Whatever is a fact, it's a fact. If you don't know it, you don't know it. I recall during a few of my interviews, I was asked a few questions around GK and I didn't know it. And they just told it upfront that I don't know it, sir. Right? But something which is very personal to you, it might be about your background, your hobby, or anything else. The confidence will come from the practice. So I'll quote an example of a movie like Drishyam. It was all lie, but perfectly, each and every piece was just perfectly fitting into a puzzle. If you are prepared with that level, you can answer each and everything. But if you feel so, it's a factor of personality, right? If you feel that you will not be comfortable speaking, which is not right, then don't go for it. I was, and I prepared for it, and I gave you the examples. Like I did not leave even a single decimal point about volleyball.
So out of everything, you would say that confidence is the most important factor.
Confidence is the most important thing, yes. And during all of my interviews, I was thrown with a lot of questions, and they tried me to make me uncomfortable. Like, how will you handle this? How will you do it? You are not for an MBA. You should be an engineer. It can be anything. They'll try to pressurize you and understand your confidence level. Factually, you might be wrong in a few cases, but you should be confident. And I think this session is going to take a lot of time, but okay. So I'll give you one more example. During your actual interviews, you'll be asked with a question which would be common for all of you and for all the interviews. And it's not going to be, do you have any questions to ask? The question would be, there is going to be a bowl of toffees, and you'll be asked, do you want this toffee or not? Or you can have a toffee. And most of the students just try to think like, should we take a toffee or should we decline it? Should we accept it? Should we eat in front of them? It can be anything, right? The interviewer is just trying to offer you a toffee. So I just want to understand from all of you, like, what should be your response? Should you accept it or not? Should you eat in front of them or not? What should be
Sir,
I
the
will accept it.
yeah.
ideal case?
Sir, I think we should accept it, but eating in
I will
front of
accept
them
it
is a bad idea.
and eat it later.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other views?
I would not accept it, and I would say that I generally tend to avoid eating chocolates because they're unhealthy. So thank you for the chocolate, but I would rather not.
Okay. So again, that was the point I was trying to say, that this individual point has a lot of debate or discussion going on, like what's the correct way, right? I would recommend it's all about confidence. If you can say yes with the confidence, go for it. If you can say no with the confidence, but without arrogance, then go for it. The interviewer is trying to check if you are confident or not. And at this question, if you are getting fumbled or just trying to structure your thoughts, if you should accept it or not, they are just trying to give you a one more flavor of pressure.
Sir,
In
when
my
do they offer?
toffee from each and every interview. And with a smile, I said thank you and moved out of the room.
So we can smile.
Yeah,
Sir, are
for
we
sure.
allowed to smile?
Yes, you are allowed to smile and laugh as well.
So actually, when I get nervous, I usually smile. So that was also my concern.
But I think it can be a sign of your confidence. You can be nervous, but that nervousness should not be on your face. From your face, you should be the most confident person in this entire world.
So I
And
have done this before multiple times. While playing, I did this a lot. I used to be nervous, but I am not nervous because I used to be the captain of the team, so I can't be nervous at that point of time. So I have to show them.
got it. So just try to be happy. I remember sharing a lot of laughs with my interview during my IIM Bangalore interview, and I cracked it as well. So there is no harm while sharing a laugh or while smiling. It just
If
gives the confidence to the interviewer that you are a confident person. That's it.
Sir, if we smile too much, will it not portray that we are not serious about it or not?
There are ways of laughing or smiling. So a gentle smile is good, but if the smile is coming in a way that it can be awkward to the interviewer, then it's a no, right? So for example, Arunabha, the smile on your face right now, it's a normal smile, right? But there is a face expression which is a smile, but kind of a mimicking smile that you are trying to mock someone. That should not be the case, right? So I'm just asking you guys to have a gentle smile on your face, which will give the interviewer that you are confident.
Sir, if our work experience is in a completely unrelated field to as compared to our undergraduate degree, then in what
Mhm.
direction is the interview likely to go?
Can you please give me an example?
Uh, like I'll quote my example. I am currently commissioned in army and I'm
Okay.
resigning for several reasons. However, when I was doing my undergraduate, it was in BSc Computer Science.
Okay.
Now, I have studied subjects during my graduation, physics, chemistry, and obviously this computer science. Will they be asking too much about it, or will they be asking about my work experience specifically?
Abhishek, with 80-90% probability, I can predict most of the questions that are going to be asked to you because you are coming from a background no one is coming from. So they'll try to understand only you, why you took the decision of joining an army, then why you took the decision of doing an MBA. Why did you choose those particular subjects? Why do you think MBA is going to help you? What do you want to in your future? Your entire interview is going to revolve around this. And a lot of questions around army. What did you learn from them and all those things? So for you, the cracking an interview is relatively easier because you know what is going to be asked. Right? So if you know the questions, like me, just try to prepare each and everything around it. So for you, it's like the exam is leaked. You know the questions. You just need to prepare your answers. That's it.
Understood. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I'll move forward. And if there is anything, I think we should take it at the end. Otherwise, we'll not be able to complete the entire session. So we have covered the PI part. Just a few preparation tips on the interview. Start as early as possible. Not like that you are just attending a few sessions or listening to a few videos. Structure it into two parts. One is around you or personal or HR questions. For each and every question, just try to write your own version of story, whatever you are going to speak in your interview. Write it down on your laptop or on your diary. Read through it again and again and try to refine it. With time, your answers will keep on getting refined. Right? Allocate, uh, although it's written 30 to 60 minutes over here, I would recommend allocate around 2 to 3 hours minimum for your interviews. Maintain a diary. Try to write down each and everything around your personal or HR questions or your current affairs because it is going to help you during your final preparation, whatever you are going to write today. For example, if it's a current affair topic which is of important today, you might not be remembering the exact data, facts, or it can be anything after 2 months. But your interviews are going to be scheduled after 2 months or maybe after 1.5 months. So your diary or your notebook is going to be very handy for you. Just try to write down each and everything that you can. Try reading newspapers on a daily basis. Once you will start reading, you will understand what is important and what is not important. The news which are coming daily in the newspaper in one form or the another, those are going to be the really hot important topics that can come in any shape or form. We'll be providing with a few videos on both current affairs as well as personal or HR questions. Go through it once and whatever you feel is important, again, write it down in your diaries. Number 4, practice a lot. You have 5 PS sessions scheduled with your mentors. Make full use of it, give your interview and ask for your feedback. Even after your 5 sessions are exhausted, you can schedule more sessions that will take care and I'll explain how it can be done. Now coming to the next part, which is group discussion or GD. So I explained the structure of what is a GD and how do we do it. You will be provided with a topic. There are going to be 6 to 8 members. And in the beginning, you will be most probably you will be provided with a pen and paper. You will be given 5 to 10 minutes to think on the topic and write down your thoughts. And from there, the GD will start. Right? Now there are a few rules of doing a GD. The first person who is starting the GD is often seen as a trait of a leader, because that's the person who is taking the efforts of initiating something. So most of the brownie points goes to the first person who is starting the GD. Similarly, a good chunk of points go to the person who is ending the GD. The person who is ending the entire group discussion will summarize whatever has happened in the next 30 or 40 minutes. Okay. Again, a few rules of GD. Don't try to interrupt or cut in between whenever a female candidate is speaking. Whenever you are trying to interrupt someone, it should happen once the sentence of the earlier candidate is completed. You should not interrupt them while they are speaking. You just try to pick the exact sentence whenever their earlier sentence is finished. Right? And try to keep the discussion balanced. Try to listen whatever is going on in the group discussion and then try to contribute. One of the another good points is whenever a GD is going on, there is a very high probability that each and every person is talking about one or two pointers. But if some of you are able to contribute on a third or a fourth point which has not been covered in the GD, it is going to be a brownie point for you. Okay. Now the types of topics which can be asked in the GD. Number one is current affairs. Again, we talked about it again and again, that these current affairs can come in any shape or form in your PI, in your GD, or in your WAT. So brush up your basics. There can be abstract topics on your GD. For example, one is written over here like freedom versus responsibility, or a very random topic like red or white. If you had not practiced well, you'll not be able to gather your points around red or white. It's a very, very abstract topic, right? Third is a case based. For example, a company is facing declining profits, how to revive it. It will, the discussion will revolve your understanding about the business, about the industry, how well you are able to jot down your thoughts and everything around it. Any questions on GD or should we move forward?
Hi. So I had a question. While participating in GDs, I've came around many instances where many of the participants tries to initiate. Like there are 2 to 3 participants who are trying to initiate on the same time. So what to do in that situation?
Okay. So, got your point. So, your point is like there can be a lot of people who is trying to actually start a GD, right?
Yes, yes.
Got it. So, see, this is bound to happen. Now, there are around 41 participants. Now, each one of you will try to initiate the GD because each one of you wants those brownie points. Now, the true leader is or would be someone who is actually initiating it. There will be 4 or 5 persons who are trying to clash amongst themselves and will try to initiate the GD, but you will have to take the ownership and your voice should have that confidence and should be loud that others will feel that okay, let that person initiate the GD. That's bound to happen. But you will have to
So
speak for yourself.
it's
And
okay to interrupt them at that point.
yes, it's okay, but if you feel that someone has already started, then don't try to cut them in between.
Okay.
So what about in cases where someone is hogging the conversation, like they're speaking for a long period of time? In that
Okay.
case.
In that case, you can politely mention that, okay, you have talked for a significant amount of time. I think we should give time to others as well who have not spoken, or even for yourself if you have not spoken. For example, you have been talking for about 5 to 10 minutes for the last 10 or 5 minutes. I think we should have pointers from each one of us to have a healthy discussion.
So in
And I
that case,
think
how do we interrupt them? Like, how do we call out to them?
try to pick up the points where their sentences are ending. So if the person is speaking something, there are going to be a few sentences. They'll end their first sentence, then they'll bring their second sentence. At this exact point, you need to cut them.
So generally, do we like need to raise our hand or something, or just start speaking from there?
So you can raise your hand, but not a lot. For example, I share my view. So, for example, I'm sitting for a GD. Something like this is okay. It shows that you want to speak something, but something like this is not okay. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. And we'll have detailed sessions on each and everything like GDPI, WAT, everything. So don't worry about all the basics. We'll cover it slowly. Okay. So I think we have already covered how to approach part of GD. So for example, there is an abstract topic which has been provided to you. So first of all, try to define what's the topic, try to analyze it, and then conclude. Uh, for example, if it's a current affairs topic, the discussion would be more healthier, and you'll be getting more brownie points if you are bringing in different opinions, different solution to the problem, and if you are aware about the facts. So, for example, yesterday, the topic of the day on Facebook group was around quick commerce. So, there is a lot of uh, things going on in the market around quick commerce. For example, there is a company which has just merged with Zepto, right? So, for example, if you are going to give all those factual information during your JD or PI, those are going to fetch brownie points for you. There can be case studies. We just had an example of if a company's profits are declining, what should be the issue? So there should be a logical problem solving starting from what could be the problems, then coming on to the solution rather than directly coming on to the solution part. Got it? And there is an abstract topic for your homework. Red is not just a color. So let's take it as a homework. And in the Facebook group, I'll start a thread. Just mention your thoughts over there. Okay. Coming on to the next part, which is your WAT or written ability test. Mainly, WAT has three components: introduction, body, and conclusion. The introduction part should be really good. Think of it like a trailer of a movie. The better the trailer is, the better the probability of it being a good movie, right? Make it so interesting that the reader actually wants to go to the body and the conclusion part. Now, coming to the body part, in the body part, you can bifurcate it in a few bullet points, as someone asked a few minutes back, or you can have it into a few paragraphs. Completely depends upon you, but the entire WAT should feel like a complete story in itself rather than each paragraph is talking a separate story. And the typical time limit of a WAT is around 15 to 30 minutes. You will be given with a few minutes, maybe 2 to 5 minutes to think on the topic or maybe writing down your points. Then again, 30 minutes to write down your entire WAT. And in the end, try to conclude, summarize, and give your final views either in the favor or not in the favor. But there should be something definite coming from your WAT. And in most of the WATs, there is a word limit or a length. So do not try to cover or just go beyond those word limits. There are a few sample topics which are mentioned over here. Should education be free for all? And second is role of ethics in business. Again, for your homework, not for now. Just try to think on both of these topics, or maybe you just try to write how will you uh, write your WAT on these topics. After this session, just pull out a paper and a pen and start writing on it. The introduction, body, and conclusion, and start posting these photos on the Facebook group. And then we'll see what should be improved for each one of you. Make sense? Okay. Let's move forward. So a few best practices which are usually followed for WAT. Number one, start it with a very good introduction, maybe with a quote or a shocking fact or a number. It can be anything. There should be a few logical arguments, and each and everything that you are trying to argue should be backed with the help of an example. It can be in the favor or it can be against, but back it with an example. Then conclusion, whatever I just mentioned, that try to summarize your entire WAT in the end, and there should be a final solution coming out of it. Just do not leave it in between. And just one tip of cracking your WAT, it's practice. Try writing down on 2 or 3 topics on daily basis. It will improve your handwriting. It will improve your speed, because right now in this era we are used to typing on laptop, not on writing down on a paper. So we'll make mistakes, and those mistakes can only be avoided if we are practicing 2 or 3 topics on a daily basis. This is going to help you in 2 ways. Number one, your knowledge about the topic, and number two, how are you structuring your thoughts while you are writing. And second point is just what I mentioned. Focus on your legible handwriting and structured thought process. That's it. Oh, there are a few comments in the chat. Jayant, you have a mentor PI call. Okay, just take a few more minutes. Extempore, very simple. You will be provided with a topic, and after a few seconds, you have to start speaking on it. Now, a few sample topics which are mentioned over here, like the last book you read, how technology has changed education. Just practice on extempore. Again, the kind of same part what we mentioned on WAT. Your starting, body, and conclusion. That's it. So there is no other option apart from practice for extempores. I think we covered this part. Now a few common preparation tips for a GDPI and WAT. Number one, have your own diary or notebook. Try to jot down each and everything that you are coming across. Number two is practice, and this practice doesn't have any other alternative. Try to practice with your friends, family, relatives, mentors. It can be anyone. Just practice a lot. Number three, stay updated with whatever is going on right now. It can be your current affairs, your businesses, or global events. And number four is feedback. Try to seek feedback from your mentors, family, or even we have a Facebook group at iQuanta, right? You can really make a good use of it.
Sir, just one thing. Someone just said they have a mentor PI call. Have the mock interviews started? And if so,
Yes.
how to schedule one? Could you
Okay.
explain that?
So I think we have finished the basic of how should you structure your entire preparation. Now coming to the part what we are offering and how is it going to be scheduled. Point number one, the entire program will have 5 mock PA sessions with your mentors. And all these mentors are from top B school alums. A few of them are still in their college, and few of them are doing their job after their colleges. And 6 GD or WAT sessions again with the feedback once the session is over. Not sure if all of you are in the WhatsApp or Facebook group. If not, please join. There are three groups. One is which is exclusively for the enrolled students. Number two, a common WhatsApp group between the students and the mentors. And number three, the Facebook group. If any one of you is not part of any of these three, let me know. I'll make sure that you have the links of all these three things. Right? Now coming on to the next part, how to schedule your PI. Every week, so we have a pool of around 70 mentors from these colleges, and these mentors will share their available slots for the next 1 week. And the link of the sheet is already provided in the group. If you are not part of the group or maybe joined late, I'll share the sheet again. And just go on the sheet, try checking what time slot works for you according to your work timings or maybe your college or any other availability. Or maybe you have a specific inclination with any mentor. The mentor is good, the mentor is from a particular college, the mentor might have a background from a particular field. So the entire platform is available for you guys. However, you want to schedule a PI, we'll share you the entire availability of all these slots for the week. Schedule it in the sheet, just mention your student ID. The student IDs would be available in the sheet, and the mentor will share the meeting link. Just don't be late in your interviews. Try joining the link 5 or 10 minutes back. So all the technical glitches can be taken care of. Once your PI is done, seek feedback in detail as much as possible and try to note down all the feedbacks in your diary so that you can work on it during your next few days. And whenever you feel that, okay, you have prepared enough on these points, then go for another PA. This similar methodology is going to be followed for your GD and WAT. The availability will be shared in advance. Schedule your session, go for your GD, take feedback, work on it, then appear for another GD or WAT session. Let me know if we have any confusions over here.
So
So I have
regarding
two
the
queries.
GD,
So the
One
first
by
query, I'll say first. So the first query was I wasn't provided with a student ID as of now.
Okay.
And the second query is that I have been added to the WhatsApp group. I don't think I have been added to the common WhatsApp group between the mentors and the students. I've been
Okay.
added to a WhatsApp group and to a Facebook group. So it would be very much helpful if you could provide me with the all the links at the same time so that all the students can be
Got it.
beneficial.
So Karthik, what I'll do is I think it will take care of all the questions which are about to come. All these three links, I'll collate it at one place and send it across all three platforms. So if any one of you is available on any one platform, you'll have the link of other two.
Yes, sir.
I think that takes care of it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
so regarding GD mock sessions, I would like to ask on what basis should we select our GDs or other than the time slot that we have available? For instance, you mentioned the background of the mentor, the field of the mentor, and that is one useful thing for the PIs. Is there any similar metric for GD that we should look out for?
For GD Pranshu, there is no similar metric because in PI it's kind of a one-on-one interview, and you would like to have someone who is more inclined either towards your similar kind of work ethics or the kind of college you are targeting. But a GD is even a WAT is very general. So I think you can choose the slot which is available or suits according to your time.
Right. So just out of one further clarification, we do not interact with the professors, the panelists in the GD much, right? In the actual GD, right? We interact mostly with our fellow GD participants. Or do we have any other interaction? Do we have any other
No.
interaction with the people who are judging the GD? What do we
No.
call them?
So
Panelists? Or...
no. So you will get into a room, and once each one of you is settled, they'll hand over a piece of paper wherein the topic would be written, and they'll give you 1 or 2 minutes, and immediately you will start talking about your GD topic. And they'll not even give you the feedback after your GD. So there is going to be very minimal interaction during your GD or even your WAT. But there is a very high probability that the person who is conducting your WAT or GD is going to be your interviewer. So the way you have demonstrated yourself during your GD or WAT would be taken care of during a PI. For example, you were nervous or you did something very extreme. Those questions will be uh, taken care of, right? Or maybe asked
So
in your PI. So just
they do
take
ask questions based on the GD. Yes.
not exactly, but for example, you were very nervous.
Right.
They can ask you in your PI, why were you nervous? And that can revolve your entire flow of the PI. Because it's a very high probability that the panelists are safe.
Right.
Got it?
Thank you.
Barun, so your question is taken care of. I'll share all the links. Same goes for Mitra. I'll share all the links again. Apart from it, like you'll have a few GDPI or WAT sessions with your mentors. You guys will be provided with a dashboard on iQuanta's website. The dashboard will have a few videos on the basics of PI, GD, and WAT. So the pointers we just talked about, it's just a kind of trailer. When you'll start listening to your videos, you'll have a detailed understanding on how to approach each and everything. And a few videos will covering the basics of your interviews. For example, there will be videos on how to tell about yourself or how to mention something about why MBA. So all the basic topics which can be asked in an interview are covered over there. Till now, we have uploaded around 6 to 7 videos on the dashboard. You can start going through it. And if someone has not access to their dashboard, let me know in the WhatsApp or Facebook group. I'll take care of it. And we'll start uploading these videos on a regular basis, maybe around 4 to 5 videos daily, so that the entire content is available in the next 4 or 5 days. So one part is this video. The second part would be current affairs. The videos and PDFs on static GK and current affairs have already been uploaded in the dashboard. Start going through it. You will be comfortable with a few topics and you will not be comfortable with a few topics. But I would recommend just go through it, maybe even on a fast forward mode. But go through it, write down your thoughts and try to understand about those. Because you don't know like what is going to be asked during your interview or GD. Right? Along with it, there will be a few weekly live sessions on current affairs. So whatever has been done in real life world around current affairs, we have tried to cover all those things in your uploaded videos. But whatever is happening right now or is bound to happen, we'll cover it every week in live classes. The number of live classes is not defined. It can be 1, 2, or 3 depending upon the requirement. Or maybe if you guys feel that, okay, we are confused about this topic and we need a video on this particular topic, we'll cover it. So there is no hard bound rule as such that there is going to be X number of videos or lectures. We'll try to make it interactive based upon your requirement. Along with it, there are a few types of questions which can be asked on your interview. For example, a few case studies or guesstimates. We'll have a few sessions around those as well. We'll have form filling sessions. So after a few days, the forms will be out of the colleges. We'll have the mentors from those colleges coming on live and sharing the tips on how to fill the form so that you guys are not making any mistake. There will be sessions on domain specific knowledge. For example, if any one of you wants to speak in an interview that I want to do an MBA in finance or marketing, from our end, we'll try to cover the basics around it. Right now, we are developing material in form of a PDF. The PDFs are going to be detailed along with what should be the kind of questions that can be asked from you. Go through it and prepare for it. And even after reading through those contents, if you feel that you need a live lecture, we'll arrange a live lecture around those topics.
Deepak sir, one more thing. Would there be any sessions regarding the subjects of undergraduate degrees, like mechanical and civil and all of that? Because I can talk more about finance than I can about mechanical. So
Right.
that is an issue.
So Pradesh, even it's very difficult for us to arrange such session because it will require a professor of all these topics. But what we can do is, if we work together, we can combine the questions from your academics. For example, there can be a common group for the mechanical engineers, similarly for the computer science engineers, and together they can bring out the questions and their answers as well, rather than a professor coming in and talking for an hour. I think that makes better sense. That peer to peer we
Yeah,
can do much
sure,
better.
sure. Just covering the broad, major, general questions.
Yes.
I
From
don't
our
think
end,
they go
we'll
in depth in the
right.
interviews.
From our end, we'll try to cover the basic questions which can be asked during your interviews. The rest depends upon how much we help each other.
Sir, I have one more request. Like, can we have like a collision of all the a question that has been asked in past interviews, like from a particular field?
Right.
Like, I'm
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's Amritna, right? So, yeah, I forgot about it, but we'll share a few materials around the previous asked interviews or transcripts around it so that you can go through it and understand the natural flow of these interviews. I'll
and
share
sir,
even mine transcripts.
so one more thing. Like you said that you used to maintain a diary for your current affairs and all. Can you share a snippet of anything of that, like how you used to do it? Because right now the problem that I'm facing is I read newspaper for 45 minutes, but I'm not able to like pick up the points that I should write in the diary, because like today they are like 10 to 15 points. So I feel like it will be a lot of points till the end, and even the revision would be a hectic task.
So then try to bifurcate your diaries in a few parts or maybe a few copies. So, for example, one diary can be covering each and every aspect about you. Second diary can be around the current affairs. And why I'm talking about maintaining two separate diaries, because your second diary, the size of your second diary will keep on increasing every day. Because every day there is something new happening in the market. So maybe you'll exhaust your first diary or notebook in the first 10 or 12 days. That's how you'll be able to make a proper bifurcation. But don't set a limit that you want to maintain everything in one single diary. The information is vast. Don't limit it. Just try to be natural and have a good flow around it. Whether it takes 1, 2, or 3 diaries. If I recall my good old days, my room was filled of printouts, papers, diaries, newspapers, everything.
Got it, sir.
So do you think that we should subscribe to our newspapers on our own? Or, because I have not, I actually don't read newspapers at all until now. And but I
Pranshu,
have seen that you've been sharing a lot of highlighted newspapers on the WhatsApp groups. Would
right.
they be enough, or should we subscribe to our own newspapers and read those entirely as well? Or are there particular sections that we should prioritize over others?
Pranshu, go for a, I would say, paper newspaper because that will give you a better feel and will give you a practice around reading the newspaper daily. While you are reading the PDF form of the newspaper, you can get distracted. While reading the newspaper, you might switch to something other thing. So, for example, there might be a reel pop which popped up in your Instagram. So you
So it's
might
not
get
any more
diverted and you
distracting
don't
than
even know.
CIC books. Okay, fine.
So I
Right.
would
I don't think
recommend go for
distraction is the
a
biggest
physical
issue.
newspaper.
Okay. Are there any sections that we should prioritize in the newspaper? So like, I know editorial is important. Are there any other particular section that we should look out for?
So apart from editorial, the important sections of the first 3 or 4 pages.
The first 3 or 4 pages,
Those,
like headlines and
yes,
local news,
those are
city
going to be
news,
really
national
important.
news.
Yep. So basic highlights of each and everything around business,
Azario,
sport, economy.
Sarah,
eh, Okay.
I
Deepak, you.
had
I think,
I
additionally,
had
I
a
have
doubt about specializations in MBA. Like, if we get asked about what specialization do you want to choose, and like basic questions about the specialization, what
Hmm.
what should be our approach to answering it? Like, I currently don't have any uh, bent towards a specific like
Okay.
specialization.
So, Kartikeya, I would go back to my words, which I mentioned in the very beginning. Speak what you are comfortable at. Doesn't necessarily should be a fact or a truth. If you are comfortable, if you are going to speak that you want to do an MBA in finance, and if you can handle all the questions around finance, only then speak about it. Because no one is coming there to judge that you talked about selecting or going for finance in your MBA, and you are doing something else after going into the college. In my case, um, I mentioned that I'm actually flexible. I want to explore all the fields, and after studying the basics of all the subjects, I'll make up my mind what I want to do in my life. For me, it was a fact, it was a truth, but I was not confident handling each and every question around finance or operations or marketing because I never gone through all these things.
Okay,
So
sir.
comfort should come from inner you, and the answer can vary from each one of you. So just try to understand where you are comfortable at.
So,
So I have a suggestion, and
Mhm.
I think the same has been posted by Vedic in the chat also. If it is possible, and I'm talking only about the enrolled students, if it is
Mhm.
possible to schedule a one-on-one session with a mentor or to a experienced person to whom
Mhm.
we can talk about our profile, about our scores, about our exams, about what work experience do we have, what all queries do we have, so that we could get the realistic score, realistic advice that what colleges should we target, what colleges in our reach, what colleges should we expect to get a call from, and what colleges should we fill off also, because the deadlines
Got
are
it.
going as and on. And uh, coming from my personal experience, I believe that I have scored it pretty decent well, but I am also thinking to just fill the forms for the mediocre colleges as well to be on a safer side. I'm very confused about it. So I don't want to waste my one session, complete session on the so that my mentor gets to know me and I talk about my profile and there, here and there. If it is possible to schedule a one-on-one session, it would be really helpful. And I'm talking only for the enrolled students.
Got it. Karthik, it can be done in two ways. Number one, around the point that you mentioned that you or even all of you want to understand which colleges you can target and you should expect a call from. I think all these topics can be taken care of in the Facebook group. And if we'll answer any one of you, all others will get the answer because most of the questions are going to be almost same, right? Regarding your second question, that I think there should be a one-on-one session with your mentors. I think I'll try to figure out something on this line. That
Thank you
your
so much,
five
sir.
PI sessions would be as it is. In addition to it, you will get a session with your mentor to understand your profile and understand well how to structure your or how to strategize your entire PI or GD.
So regarding my first question, as you said that it can be like catered on the WhatsApp group as well. I just wanted
Yeah.
to add that I think the calls also get differ by the work experience or the profile you have.
Right.
So answering one query, particular query on the WhatsApp, on the Facebook can be very much different for the person who has a query with a different profile and a different work
Got
experience.
it. So, Karthik, I think all those questions can be taken care of during your discussion with your mentor.
Yes, yes, sir.
I'll try to figure out something on this.
So,
Thank you so much, sir.
on a similar note, I would also request for sessions. So we had like not so a kind of individual session. At least I would require one from what I understand of myself before I test myself in a mock interview, because there are things I know about myself already. For instance, that a question of why IIM Bangalore instead of Calcutta, or why this instead of a tier 2 college, is the kind of question that would make me stumble the most, because that's kind of how my personality is. I find it very difficult to justify myself, and there are similar things that I know about myself already before giving an interview, and I would like to discuss on similar things that I already know about my own background and my profile, and how I should handle these more general things but they are specific to me. For instance, my background is very poor. I've had poor grades all across college, but because of specific reasons, I was addicted to to video games for most of my life, that's and how should I handle such questions when if someone asks me specifically about this, which they can if they look at my college resume. So I would request a specific, just maybe like a similar half an hour, 1 hour discussion on these questions, like, maybe with you or with some other mentors other than the interviews. That would be very helpful for us, I think, for most of the students.
The product of belonging is step 2. So guys,
Yep. Yeah, Dipanshu.
No sir, nothing. गलती से हो गया था actually.
ठीक है ठीक है तो I think pretty clear. Pranshu will try to schedule something similar to this. You can have a session with your mentor. I'll work on it and say
I
share.
haven't decided a mentor yet for any PI because of the same reason that I do not want to test myself before I actually prepare for the test well. And this preparation will require some extra help from some other perspective, maybe. Because I've already thought of these things myself already, and maybe some more general advice on like there are specific parts of my background. How do I deal with these parts? And so that might require a little more personalized guidance than you can offer maybe in a live class. So that's
Got it, Pranshu.
half schedule.
I'll take care of it.
All right, sir.
Sir, just to add here. Sorry, go ahead, Pranshu.
Regarding the preparation for technical knowledge knowledge of our degree subjects, are there any specific resources of any kind? Should GATE resources be enough as like a general idea, or should we really just go back to our textbooks again to just give ourselves a crash course? Is there any?
So, Pranshu, we'll do it in two ways. Number one, we'll try to collate the common questions which can be asked from your field so that you can start brushing up at least those basics. Number two, I think it is going to be a peer-to-peer help. Apart from those questions, if you guys help each other, try to figure out what can be the other type of questions and the answers for it. This is going to be the best form of way of learning. Even this is the practice which is followed in the MBA colleges as well. The learnings which come from professor is around 10 to 20%. Another 80 to 90% of the learnings come from your peers. Okay, so again, I'll schedule something around it and we'll start a thread on all these topics.
Deepak sir, one more thing.
Yep.
I just checked the sheet regarding the scheduler, and my name is not there in the student ID column. So
Okay.
should I just text iQuanta support for the same?
Yep. So whatever your queries are now, if your student ID is not there, or maybe you are not added in some group, just mention it there in the WhatsApp group. We'll take care of it by tomorrow morning.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Sir, I had one doubt beyond this side. So it's a technical one. Apart from a few colleges like IIM Mumbai, when do we have to fill the forms for separate colleges? Like after the CAT results are out or after the interview calls are out?
After the interview results are out.
Okay. And so the PDF in which the mentors and student IDs are mentioned was actually shared before I joined the group. So
I'll share it again in the group.
Okay.
Okay.
So is there a fixed schedule for all the live sessions that will be conducted?
Exactly not, Michelle. And the reason is I want it to be fluid based upon the requirement of this group.
Okay.
And just because we have kept it fluid, and that's the reason we'll be able to incorporate your requirements. Like you need a session with your mentors, you need some material on your academics, right? So it's not fixed. Maybe tomorrow we'll have a live session on current affairs from Tarun sir.
Okay, thank you.
Tarun sir is added in all the WhatsApp and Facebook group. He is going to be the faculty of GK and current affairs.
So, sir, I thought of mentioning one thing regarding the previous question, for extra one-on-one session with a mentor regarding a profile. So actually, I did risk a part of my first interview, which was scheduled this week, for the same. Because yeah, that was really important for everyone to gauge where they have to target. So
Yep.
that's
One
very
thing, I
important. But
think that would
yeah, I
be
think
quite
if at all,
Yep.
yeah, no. So if at all a separate session is not being feasible, I think many people can just take last 10 minutes or maybe 15 minutes of their 45-minute scheduled session to, I mean, get their insights from individual mentors from different specific colleges which they want from. So that's what I just thought of mentioning. But yeah, and all in all, another specific session would be really grateful. Yeah, just wanted to mention that.
See, the reason I want to keep it very fluid is whenever you guys feel that there is something lacking in your practice, maybe a few tips around do's and don'ts of your PI, GD, or VAT, we can have similar focused discussion sessions. There is no limit to it. I just want to make sure that each one of you is getting the best chance to convert your dream colleges. The cap is only on the number of PI and GD that you can have with your mentors because there is a time constraint from your mentors. Right? Otherwise, we'll try to cover up each and everything as
I do think it will
many
be
times as
helpful for us
possible.
to have more specific sessions about different aspects of it. Maybe a lot of people with different college backgrounds, with clusters. So we can we have preparation for that in particular before we go and test ourselves on the limited time slots with our mentors.
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe that
And
can be arranged maybe this week itself or the next 7 few days. So we
Great.
can start to then book our slots accordingly as well, right, sir?
Right. So, Pranshu, the kind of videos which you guys will have in your dashboard will cover most of the questions which are in your mind right now around GDPI and VAT. Because it's the first call that you are listening to all these things. Maybe is the reason you are getting a lot of questions. But your 70 to 80% of the questions should get resolved then and there. And even then, if there is anything, we can have a similar focused discussion on any topic you want to feel. And we can have a few practice sessions as well in a similar manner, maybe on something like a VAT. I can give you a topic, and each one of you can pick out your pen and paper and can write your VAT. And you can just share the photo with me. I'll try to give the feedback. Or maybe, if not me, then any of your mentors. But we'll try to cover all those things.
Sir,
Anything?
sir, one more thing, as we mentioned, if we get to know about the specialization of the mentors as what they did in their UGs and what they did in their PGs, it would be really helpful for us because we have completed the same specialization of theirs. So it will be really useful if we get to get bettered by the same specialization of them, sir.
Right. Which the LinkedIn profile of each and every mentor is there in the sheet.
Okay, sir.
The colleges they are studying in or they have studied from and the colleges they have converted. Each and everything is there in the sheet.
Okay.
So you can go to the LinkedIn profiles and check which mentor suit according to your profile.
Okay. Oh, thanks.
So,
Yep.
So you said that we need to avoid giving general answers and like we need to back up our answers with some facts or past experiences, right? So
Right.
the first question which comes up in these schools is why MBA? So like my personal thing is I haven't done any internship or have any work ex. So how do I justify going into MBA? Like I have no correlation with that. Like I haven't done anything regards to that. So just saying that I'm interested in doing that will not justify, right?
Right. So again, it needs to be backed up with a proper story. You need to work on your specific experiences around life, college, internships, and there can be a trigger point which motivated you to do an MBA.
So could I also state an example like in my final year, I got to know with a lot of people who got placed the prior year. So I got to know all their experiences, like how the job market is going on, how they're doing everything, and also regarding to like they'll be working in some teams, right? So how other members are going on, like from my friends and everyone. So they stated all their examples, like they wanted to do this, but after a period they stopped growing in their field due to restrictions and everything. So can I go on that example? Like I just evaluated myself based on all the inputs and took this decision like that.
Yeah. Even this is a completely fine answer.
Yes.
No issues with this. So think of it like the person who is sitting in front of you understands well that if it's an answer which is available online, or if it's an answer which has been thrown by ChatGPT, or this is a proper genuine story coming out of you. So try to make it sound very genuine. The answer can be anything.
Yes, sir.
The
And
point,
also,
yeah.
yes, sir.
Yeah, Deepak, yeah.
Yeah, like in regards to academics, so can they ask questions from like electives which we did in college, like
Yes,
especially the final year electives,
they can.
without without any correlation to the main field? Like I'm from mechanical, I did most of my electives from humanities or some book reviews, something like that.
Although the probability is very less, but they can.
Yes, that's
Okay, I think that's it for today. And even after this call, if you guys have any query, just shoot your queries either on the Facebook or WhatsApp group. I'll take care of it.
One final request. I had mentioned a couple of days ago that the documents that were being sent in the WhatsApp group by you and my Tarun sir and other mentors about, say, the documents related to different current affairs matters, or the newspaper highlighted versions, or the images of newspapers, those are very useful. I would request that you make a separate maybe group for them where no one else can message except for you and other mentors, so that and you can message your documents over there. That is very useful for us to have them in a single place, so that we can have them less cluttered by the discussion. So please do that, and
So I completely recall it, and we'll do it maybe by tomorrow or day after tomorrow.
all right.
I am occupied with a lot of things.
That's all right. Just wanted
But
to remind
we'll
you.
do it for sure.
All
Give me
right,
some
sir.
time. Okay.
Another same sir, about the sessions with about the more focused sessions about preparation for PI. When should we expect them to be ready? So I book my.
So I think you
test.
guys won't need it in the shorter span of time, because the kind of videos which are going to be available on your dashboard, or even 6 or 7 videos are already available. It should cover each and everything which is going on in your mind right now. These are focused videos on each and every topic. And
I have watched a few of them, but okay, so I'll watch them.
once we have exhausted all those videos, then maybe we'll take care of like what is still pending and what is going in your mind right now.
Okay, so sure.
But those videos have been prepared, keeping all these points in the mind that you guys will have these questions coming in. Okay, so I would recommend first exhaust those videos, listen to them, make your pointers. Even then, if it's required, we can have a separate session. Devesh, what is your question? Sir, I have asked a question via direct chat above. Please reply. Okay, so Devesh, feel free to WhatsApp me. Right, my number is there in the WhatsApp group. I'll see to it. Okay, cool guys. All the best. Keep preparing, keep practicing, and all of you will convert your dream to colleges. Okay? And keep helping each other. It's going to be a joint effort. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.